everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our Friday drives here at Little Bit Electric Cars. We've got something very, very different, as you can see behind me. Now, used to Porsches, Ferraris, sports cars mostly, but this time we've got a 1989 Jeep Wagoneer. Start off with the front of the car. You got the Jeep up the top here, which I like. You don't really see this that often, where it's sort of pronounced above. It's almost Rolls-Royce-esque, if you will, just with the Jeep badge instead. Now we've got some chrome detailing along the front bar here, which I'm a huge fan of. We'll make our way around. You start to see this wood vinyl paneling on the side, which was iconic for the Wagoneer of the time. You see the Grand Wagoneer just there as well. You've got some chrome detailing up the top here as well, and then the wood vinyling here, which is something that was iconic for this car, as I said, and it creates a bit of that character that you're looking for with it. And then as we open it up, we've got our left-hand drive as well, something to take note of. I'm used to it because race cars always left-hand drive unless you're in a V8 supercar, but the detailing on the inside is fantastic. This car's been super well looked after, and I'm really, really impressed with the quality that it has. You know, like sometimes you drive older cars and they're a bit shoddy, they don't really work properly, but this thing works perfectly, and I'm a huge fan of it. So we've had a chat about the exterior of the car, and we've had a little bit of a conversation about the interior. You can see as I'm driving, it's so different to what we're always used to here on our Friday drives, but that's why we kind of wanted to change it up a little bit. So this having been built in 1989, actually 10,000 of these were built in that year. So really, with 10,000 globally is a very, very low number for something like this, and then 100,000 across the course of their life cycle were built. So we talk about cars being collectibles, and you know, how do you put a specific number on that? For me, this thing really is just that. It's been impeccably kept. You can see that from the interior, the exterior, but also the way that it drives. Now, it is an older car, so it does have some quirks to it still, but there's something really quite nice about that. You don't buy one of these because it's going to be brand spanking new. You buy it because it's going to be a little bit different. You can feel there's a little bit of play in the steering wheel, and the pedals are a bit softer. They're not as firm as maybe sometimes you might like them. And the brake as well is a little bit spongy, but it's still firm. Like as I start to try and slow down, it does it pretty quickly. It's not bad. We've got a couple of different drive modes in this car as well. We have our two-wheel drive system, and then our low range, which I'm not going to go into now because we're not obviously going off-roading, but if you were to go off-roading and you needed that low range in the gearing to be able to get up a hill or whatever it might be, it's there and ready and waiting, and that's kind of what these cars are used for. That's what it's meant to do. This car was built and designed by a chap called Brooks Stevens, and he famously worked on a lot of that GM owned group cars, but also a lot for Harley Davidson. He made some of the most famous Harley Davidsons that have ever been built, and the Wagoneer's kept its styling for so long, and it's almost like an iconic shape, if you will, with amongst these types of vehicles as well. And as I keep driving it, I just feel like, honestly, normally I'd be very reluctant to hold my hands anywhere else other than at 9 and 3, because that's what I'm used to. That's where you're meant to hold them. But for this one, I feel like I'm going to change it up a bit. I'm just going to go Vin Diesel style at the top of the wheel, just cruise around, have some fun with it. And I'm breaking my golden rule, but I'm going to just do it. Why not? We're in this thing for a reason, huh? In 1989, there was two options for drivers of these types of vehicles. You either had the Jeep Wagoneer or the Bronco from Ford. Now, both very, very good options, but people typically, as time has gone on, have revered the Wagoneer as the car to have had, but not just the car to have had, but the car to have kept. And I think that's really important because we're not in 1989 now, 1990, we're in 2023. So it's important to note that at the time it was very close, but as time has gone on to where we are now, this was and still is the one to have across the board of that sort of generation, that era. You know, you've got the 5.9 litre V8 engine in it. It's a fantastic engine. You can feel that. It's got enough power, enough grip, enough availability, delivery of power. And it's a collector's item. I mean, this thing has been presented so well, and even just like winding down the windows, it's actually super smooth, and the finish on the inside is fantastic. It's been well maintained, and I really like that about this thing. It's been well looked after. As I'm driving this car, I feel like I need to be heading out to the bush. So I feel like I need my swag in the back, fill the esky with some beers, and go on a camping trip. And that's going to finish this week's Friday drive. I've had a lot of fun driving this thing, something very different to what we're used to on the channel, but I had a great time with it, and it's so beautifully presented too. It's been really well looked after, and we've loved it. Now make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram as well, and let us know, have a look on the website, look at what cars we have, tell us what cars you'd like us to do a Friday drive on, and we'll see you next time.